All right, good morning, everyone. Today's January 15th. It is 9:01. Meeting of the Board of Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists is now in order, now in session. First order of business is the roll call. Selena, please.
President Martinez.
Here.
Vice President Rufino.
Present.
Dr. Amistad.
Here.
Dr. Ascari.
Here.
Ms. D'Antonio.
Here.
Ms. Haggard. Here. Mr. Hallinan. Mr. Hartley.
Here.
Ms. Matheson. Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Villegas.
Here.
Mr. Waldeck.
Here.
Ms. Wong. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Second order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. There it is.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Frank. All right, before we go into public comment, just a couple of things we'll be working on. We're going to go into public comment next, then there's going to be a hearing, and we will move into closed session after that for the next couple of items. And then once we're in closed session, we will state a time when we will be back in open session. So if there anybody from the public that would like to make a comment, please step up.
Good morning, members of the board. David Schwegel, Vang Incorporated Consulting Engineers. And I can't say enough good things about our CEO, Ken Vang. He was the project manager on the Mercedes-Sacramento section of the high-speed rail project. And under his leadership, Precision Civil Engineering delivered more value for the money than any other consultant on the history of the high-speed rail project. He tells me that he's turning away work left and right. I said, well, why is that, Ken? He says, because we are so good at what we do. And this is an ever-present reminder that we need to be very good at what we do. Also, I can't say enough great things about Joe Gormley, the City of Fresno traffic engineer, and I've been working diligently since 2005 to make your Title Act traffic engineering license mean something here in California, and I will continue to do so. I am advocating for the requirement that every PE in the state of California successfully complete and pass a course in the Dale Carnegie Effective Communication and Human Relations class, because let's face it, our human relations skills are not the best. I did a side-by-side comparison with engineers and lawyers. And yes, we hear a lot of bad things about engineers and their people skills. And we hear a whole lot more bad things about lawyers and their people skills. But when I did the side-by-side comparison, a couple things were evident. The lawyers are much more actively engaged in professional associations than their engineering counterparts. And the lawyers did consistently deal much better with the people, and they're much more flexible under changing notice situations than their engineering counterparts. And that explains why a typical employment lawyer in Fresno County gets paid $450 an hour versus the lead traffic engineer in Fresno County that only gets paid $125 an hour. I am continuing to work on my effort to get NCAAS to be able to license traffic engineers in all 50 states via a traffic engineering licensing exam. Now, it's been brought to my attention that this board does not want to play ball. That's fine. I respect that. However, please be advised, if this goes through, and it looks like I'm getting my 10 states to make this go through, California is going to be at a huge disadvantage if it does not upgrade traffic from title to practice, because that means the remaining 49 states in the nation will be licensing traffic engineers as a regulated practice. And here in California, we're going to be seeing traffic engineers leave the state in droves who are fed up with having their sound traffic engineering judgment squelched by supervising civil engineering egos. Now, we need to make sure that this is what we want, because the last I checked, 2 of the 5 most congested regions in North America were right here in California, demanding a drive for traffic engineering services. Now, ASCE as a whole supports elevating traffic from title to practice by 2 to 1. The challenge is the California region of ASCE, and I'll be working with them diligently to get that resolved. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Are there any more comments from the public? Please step up.
Hello. My name is Dylan Nixon Helms. I'm a licensed civil engineer here in the state of California. And I'll start this off saying apologies. I'm a little bit nervous at the public forum. But I've actually dreamed of this moment. I've submitted this comment before online, and so I'll start there. And I'd like to start this off with a positivity sandwich. The first thing being, thank you for still having the online forum. The last meeting that I attended online, the board was voting whether or not to retain that for the public. I learned more in that meeting in 20 minutes than I did in 7 years, not practicing, then learning as a civil engineer and now practicing as a civil engineer about what the ins and outs of this profession are and the legislation behind it. So thank you for retaining that. I really, really appreciate that as a member of the public. So the next thing that I'll move on to, and this is a little bit of an explanation, but what qualifies as civil engineering in the state of California is only what can be done by a licensed civil engineer, and by extension, anything that can be done by a non-licensed civil engineer is not civil engineering, which is a perspective that disagrees with the examination that you have to take to become licensed here in the state of California, which is created by NCEES, which through my homework and working with them is understood to be created by them soliciting information from licensed civil engineers across the nation, asking them what's relevant to their practice. And so they create these exams, and California has you take these exams, which now you can take, tying into the last comment, traffic engineering as one of your bread and butter. It's an 8-hour exam, and that is all that you're going to study. That's all you're going to learn about. But then when you go to submit your experience to the state of California, the state of California doesn't consider any of that to be relevant experience. So it's a confusing process that feeds into this 6-month backlog that has been in place since I started the process of trying to get licensed 3.5 years ago. The blurb goes up, the blurb comes down. I've got screen clips of it that I've been monitoring since my own process of getting involved. And what everybody has told me through the process is just wait, you'll be done with it and you'll never have to deal with it again. But that's not what I was taught. That's not how I was raised. And it's not what I've learned working as an engineer in the state of California. If you see a problem, you don't just pass it up and leave it for the next person to figure out. You do what you can to try and understand it. And throughout the entire process working with the board, I still don't understand it. And so I'll tie that into the PE Act, which I checked to make sure the language on hasn't changed, which the very definition of engineering, and this is the crux of the issue, doesn't align with what the board has passed along to me with information. Thank you. So subsections D and E, the appraisals and evaluations, the preparation or submission of designs, plan and specifications, and engineering reports, and the last subsection F, coordination of the work of professional, technical, or special consultants are all items that in the state of California do not qualify as civil engineering. Cost estimates, project management, those are not civil engineering in the state of California. So what I am asking is that the board publish examples of every item underneath the definition of civil engineering, at least one, to give the public something to work off of and address this 6-month backlog. And I'm here to say it's been long enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more comments from the public in the room? Seeing none, moderator, can you open WebEx for public comment?
All right, for our online participants, now is the time to raise your hand. You can do so by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users, dial *3 to raise your hand. And our first request online is coming from Scott Jarek. Hold on just a moment, please. We're sending you a request to unmute your microphone.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning, President, Vice President, board members, and Executive Officer Moore. My name is Scott Jersich. I'm a retired licensed professional engineer and one of the organizers of a volunteer program called Operation Math Lift. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. I'm here because California has a serious math preparedness problem, and engineers are uniquely positioned to help address it. In the Folsom Cordova Unified School District, where our program operates, more than half of the 21,000 students do not meet math standards and are having problems with math. That means thousands of students are entering middle and high school already behind in the subject that underpins engineering, science, and technology. This is not theoretical. The Dean of Math, Science, and Engineering at Folsom Lake College has told me directly that even students pursuing STEM pathways are increasingly underprepared for college-level math. That pipeline problem doesn't start in college. It starts in elementary school, where foundational skills are either built or lost. Operation Math Lift addresses this gap directly. We place retired and practicing engineers into the classrooms to work one-on-one and in small groups with students who are struggling with math. And the program is working. Teachers support it, principals support it, district administrators support it. Most importantly, students respond to it. The program needs to grow, and the only thing limiting our growth is volunteers. That's why I'm speaking with you today. I understand and respect that the board communicates with licensees only for official board business, and I'm not asking staff to reinterpret policy. I'm asking the board to consider a simple question. Is it in the public interest and consistent with the board's mission to inform licensed engineers of an opportunity to strengthen math education and protect the future of the profession? This is not political, it's not commercial, it's not promoting a private business. It's simply informing engineers, many retired and eager to serve, that their skills are urgently needed in public schools. Engineers are licensed to protect the public. A mathematically unprepared generation poses a long-term public risk, economically, technologically, and professionally. In short, a board-controlled email notice to licensees about volunteer opportunities with Operation Math Lift would support public education, strengthen the engineering pipeline, and align directly with the board's public protection mission. I'm not asking for action
30 seconds.
today, only consideration of whether this type of outreach can be recognized as official board business. If even a small fraction of California's engineers step forward, the impact would be substantial. Thanks for your time, your service, and for considering how our profession can help lift the next generation, one student at a time.
Okay, thank you. Are there any more comments from WebEx?
We're going to take just a second longer to see if we have a request. We had a hand up from a dial-in user who put it down. You can dial *3 to put that hand back up. All right, seeing no other requests, I think we're ready to proceed.
Thank you. We will now be moving on to item 4, which is a hearing on the petition for reinstatement. We'll be handing over procedural activities to the judge.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Casilla. You can come on up and sit up at the table.
Morning. Moving on.
In a minute, I'm going to go on the record and I'll kind of explain the procedure and then we'll get started. But do you have any questions before we do that, sir? No? Okay. Everybody ready? Is our court reporter ready to go on the record? All right. Let's go on the record. We're on the record before the Board of Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists. This is the matter of the petition for reinstatement of Claude Manuel Casilla, OAH case number 2025-120417. My name is Brian Weisel. I'm an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings. I've been assigned to preside over this matter. Prior to going on the record, we took a roll call and a quorum of the board is present. Can I have an appearance of the Attorney General's office, please?
Yes, Anahita Crawford, Deputy Attorney General, appearing on behalf of the Attorney General's office.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Good morning. And Mr. Casilla is present without an attorney. Is that right, sir?
Correct.
Okay, so that's fine. I just want to do a brief overview of how the hearing will go before we get started, okay? Okay. In a minute, I'm going to ask Ms. Crawford to give just a procedural background, tell us about what happened that got us to this position now. And then she is also, her office uploaded a number of exhibits, which basically is your petition packet and a couple of laws and regulations. She's going to briefly explain those, and I'll ask if you have any objection to us submitting those into the record. When we're done with that, we'll move on to you. So I'll put you under oath, and then I want you to tell me not yet, in a minute, I'll put you under oath, and I want you to tell me everything you think is relevant for the board members to determine what to do with your petition. You do not need to recite again everything that's in the petition packet. I see you wrote a lengthy summary in there, and there's a number of documents. They'll all review all of that, so you don't have to state that again. But if you want to highlight something, feel free. Tell us what you've been doing the last 5, 10 years, things like that. Okay, sir?
Thank you.
Okay. We have a court reporter present, so I see you're nodding, but then said thank you. Make sure you keep giving audible responses. Great. I know. It's okay. We're just going to give yes and no's and audible responses so we have a full record. Okay, sir?
Yes.
Great. When you're done giving us your testimony, Ms. Crawford's allowed to ask you questions, and then I'll go down the line, and each board member can ask you questions if they want to. When we're finished with the presentation of your evidence, the board will go into closed session, and then they'll determine what to do with the petition. Okay?
Thank you.
Any questions?
Awesome.
Okay. So then, Ms. Crawford, would you mind giving us a procedural background?
Thank you, Your Honor. On January 3rd of 2003, the petitioner applied to the board for an electrical engineering license. As required by the application process, the petitioner included with his application a list of 4 individuals he claimed were authorized to practice as electrical engineers and who worked for his consulting firm and had personal knowledge of his qualifying experience. Relying on these representations, on June 25th of 2004, the board issued electrical engineering license to the petitioner. On December 16th of 2004, petitioner also applied to the board for a mechanical engineering license and also included in his application a list of 4 individuals for qualifying experience. On January 10th of 2008, the board filed a statement of issues and accusation against the petitioner. The statement of issues and accusation alleged that petitioner's electrical engineering references were not electrical engineers, his mechanical engineering references were not mechanical engineers, and none of the references worked for petitioner's consulting firm. Based on those allegations, the statement of issues and accusation alleged cause for discipline for petitioner's electrical engineering license and to deny his mechanical engineering application. The basis for the denial of the mechanical engineering license application was that petitioner had failed to establish qualifying experience for 5 years as required by the board's state statutes and regulations, and that he falsely represented that his references were qualified to provide those references when in fact they were not. The basis for the accusation seeking to revoke petitioner's civil engineering license was that the petitioner misrepresented his qualifications and fraudulently obtained his electrical engineering certificate, in that he falsely represented his references were qualified to provide those experiences when they were not. Petitioner entered a stipulated surrender to surrender his civil engineering license, and he did not contest the denial of the mechanical engineering application. On April 1st of 2020, the petitioner submitted a petition for reinstatement of his surrendered license. That petition was denied. This board held that the petitioner did not provide sufficient evidence of rehabilitation, in that he maintained that he was honest about his professional references and that they did have the necessary experience and knowledge to evaluate the quality of his work. The board further held that although the board revoked petitioner's license based on his inadequate professional references, petitioner did not submit new references that complied with the law. In denying the petition, the board noted that nothing precluded the petitioner from applying for a new original license and following the legal requirements for licensure. I have nothing further at this time, and as the burden is on the petitioner, I would just reserve the right to question.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Do you want to go through the exhibit packet?
Yes.
Okay.
Exhibit 1 contains the license certification for the petitioner. I'd like to mark and introduce that as Exhibit 1.
So, sir, I'm looking at a one-page certification from the board. It's your license history. Shows that you had a license granted back in 2004, but it was revoked in 2010, certified by board staff. Any objection to that?
No.
Okay. 1 is admitted.
Exhibit 2 is the petition for reinstatement of revoked license notice of hearing for today's hearing date. I'd like to mark and introduce this as Exhibit 2.
Sir, this is just the notice for today's hearing date that you got served while you're here today. Any objection?
No.
2 is admitted.
Exhibit 3 contains the petitioner's petition for reinstatement along with his supporting documents. I'm just scrolling for the petitioner so that he can see the documents. This is the packet that was provided to the board and therefore uploaded to Case Center. And I would like to mark and introduce this as Exhibit 3.
So, sir, that looks like your packet and all the documents is submitted. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any objection? Okay. 3 is admitted.
Exhibit 4 contains the underlying disciplinary documents in this matter that I'd like to mark and introduce as Exhibit 4.
So Exhibit 4 is the prior orders from the prior petition you filed way back in 2020. Any objection to that?
No.
4 is admitted.
Exhibits 5 through 7 are for the board and your honor's reference. They are Business and Professions Code Section 6751, which is the requirement for professional engineer applicants. Code of Regulation 404.1, which defines responsible charge, which may be referenced today, and Code of Regulations 424, which again defines the experience requirement for professional engineer applicants.
So, sir, Ms. Crawford was good enough to just copy off the statutes and regulations that the board's to consider for today's petition. So I'm going to take official notice of 5, 6, and 7 as the laws of the state of California. And then I think you just passed around one additional letter that was not part of the packet today. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I've passed that around to the board members. When we're done, we have some more copies. Let me know if you don't have it. I'm just going to mark that as Exhibit 8 and admit that as well. And then I will upload it to Case Center later today, that extra letter. That's all the exhibits, Ms. Crawford?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Sir, we're going to go to your testimony.
Before that, can I correct one thing she mentioned?
Sure.
She said you require 5 years of experience, but it's only 2 years of experience.
Okay, well, let's wait till you testify for that part
I'm
then.
not sure if that's important.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So I'm going to put you under oath. You don't have to stand up. You can stand. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can lower your hand and you can move the mic. You're going to be talking for a bit there, so go ahead and get it close to yourself, get comfortable. So again, as I said, this is kind of your open forum, whatever you think the board should know about your petition. But again, they have your packet, so you don't need to rehash everything you've said in there. And when you're done, Ms. Crawford can ask you questions and the board can ask you questions, okay?
Thank you.
So whatever you want to say.
So my name is Claude Kisia. I would like to apologize for filling the mechanical application incorrectly. So I wanted to make sure I say that. But I would like to bring to your attention in the packet that I have gone through a lot of background investigation, none of this verification or what do you call it, clearance by the federal government and the state and 3 counties, and they all cleared that I have 0 bad things. So a clean record. I also, coming back from the war zones, I joined the church and I got a certificate from the bishop, which you have also. And I have a lot of letters of recommendations because the references that I originally, the 6 references were cannot be presented according to Brooke. But she said you can bring letters of recommendation, so I did. This one I just got last week, so I did not have time, but I brought a copy for everybody. Thank you.
Anything else?
No,
Okay. Ms. Crawford's going to ask you some questions and then the board, okay?
thank you.
Okay.
You recall in your application for your electrical engineer, those were the references that you submitted for, that were not qualified to provide references for you. You recall that was what your original case was about?
The case started because I applied for the mechanic up to date.
Correct.
Those were not, but the board went to check on the electrical. And they find out that these people, the PE license, they were not welcome.
Okay. And at the time, were you aware that the people that you were putting down as references were not qualified to be, to testify to your qualifications
Back then,
back then?
I mean, they were licensed by the board. I don't know how to evaluate them.
But they weren't electrical engineers.
No, there were few electrical, few civil, and few architects.
Okay.
Yes,
Were you aware at that time that all of those individuals could not qualify you for the qualifying experience?
back then,
Yes.
according to the board rules, they did.
Okay. That was your understanding?
That they had something on the internet that says pamphlet, the board pamphlet, but that was where it says if you cannot find enough electrical, you can use civil and architect to do preliminary calculations, but you cannot use mechanical for the electric.
Okay.
Yes,
And was that information ever something that you presented to the board when they filed that accusation?
I did. Yes, I believe I did.
Okay. And did the board indicate to you that that was still insufficient to qualify you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long have you been working at the Department of Transportation?
2025.
And you earlier corrected me that you are required to have 2 years of qualifying experience
Back then.
back then. Okay,
Not nowadays, it's 1 year.
1 year, exactly. At this point, since you started working in March of 2025, you haven't quite reached your 1 year of qualifying experience. Is that right?
I have more. I worked 6 to 8 months with the license. At the high school portables, the students, I own students.
Okay.
So they have to use the playground with portables. So I worked for him for about 7 to 8 months. He's a licensed and he's in the, when I applied, he was one of the references.
Okay,
And, oh, sorry, and
Yes.
actually you have in the old one from 2020,
uh-huh,
he wrote a letter.
okay,
Yes, I worked for him. Yes.
okay. That's not in this petition packet, though?
No.
Okay, so in this petition packet, we have 3 letters, 3 letters total, I believe, from Department of Transportation. Could be 4. Okay, let's take a look.
There were 3 in the packet and today I wrote one. The WP Thailand.
Okay, so in the packet, I see one from George Saloom.
Yes, ma'am.
I see one from
Inderjeet.
Harika.
Yep.
And then I see one from Christy Connors that you provided today.
Yes, and there is one from Lawrence Yahoo. It was on the first page, on the top of the packet.
Okay. Was he from Department of Transportation too?
Yeah, he's my direct boss,
Okay.
and he's the one that he was one of the 6 who, when I applied, petition, I think he passed it.
I see that on Master AA15, Lawrence Yacoub,
Yeah.
Yaacoub.
Yes.
Okay. I see, and that one was October 29, 2025. When he wrote that letter, is that this one, October 29, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. So as far as the information that's before the board today, the letters that you have attesting to your work experience go as far back as March of 2025, as far as what's here today before the board.
For today with this or the packet has one more from Yukon.
That was your previous petition,
Yes,
and that's not in this packet today.
because I applied it through, when I applied my application, he did it for me through the board. But Mr. Brook stated that they cannot break those packets.
But I just wanted to confirm that Mr. Yukon's
Yeah,
document is not in this petition packet.
not correct.
Okay, so in this petition packet, everything you have about your work experience starts in March of 2025.
I'm sorry, it is.
Okay.
Sorry, I spoke too soon. It is, 5 p.m.
Right. I see that as part of your employment history. Okay. But his letter is not in here. Okay, I got you. I'm following. Okay. Now, of the work that you have been doing, your employer writes that you attend weekly progress meetings on several projects with different phases, and you make recommendations on how to fix issues and work around to help the state of California keep the projects within their budget. Does any of the work that you do require a license?
Well, yeah, we need licensed people. We do need licensed people. All these people have licenses at the state of California, and all of them.
No, what I'm asking is your boss describes your job duties, and does your job duties, as your boss describes it, require you to be licensed to do the job you've been doing?
He wants me to get a license, but I don't know about Department of Transportation rules and regulation. I have seen people without license, they were assigned by their boss to act as a licensed person because they were short.
So to your understanding, have you been engaging in some licensed activity even though you are not licensed presently?
No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
So what have you not been doing that would require a license?
So the ones that I noticed from my bosses, they deal with budget. They attend high-level meetings that I'm not part of.
Okay.
They have to approve design changes that I can't.
Okay.
At least 2, 3 of there's probably a few more, I don't know.
Okay.
But they have to go through training to do their work by thousands.
And in your petition, you also said that you are applying for another license with the board right now?
No,
You don't have a license pending, a license application pending? Okay. Let's see. Do you intend to request a new license with the board and start the process from square one, from the beginning?
if they want me to, whatever my boss wants me to, he say do it, I do it.
No, what the board requires is that you be licensed. Do you have any intention of filing a new application with information from persons who are qualified to make statements about your qualifications. Do you intend to do that application and submit it to the board for review?
Okay, now I understand.
Uh-huh.
So I did apply for the electrical because my boss find out from NCEAS that test does not expire.
Okay.
So then they said, okay, the test doesn't expire, then apply. So I applied.
Okay.
All of them did the references.
Okay. So you do have an application that's pending before the board for electrical engineer?
Yes, sorry.
Gotcha. Okay. So what is the purpose of seeking a petition for reinstatement of a license, your electrical engineering license that had been revoked because you didn't have the qualifications? Why are you seeking a reinstatement of that old license?
Well, for several reasons. I have to clear my record, and then my boss says you have to have it. I need it. If I have to do all over again, it's gonna be till 2027. Because you have to go take classes and then try for the test is only once a year in April. So, you know, so it takes a long time. So time, and then I need to clear my record.
Okay, that's a different test than what your boss found out was the test that doesn't expire?
No, it's the same test.
Okay, so you don't need to take that test again, is that right?
That's what I thought, and that's what my boss thought. But the board says, no, I guess you have.
Okay.
Maybe I misunderstood the rule.
So you're asking to reinstate your revoked license because it's potentially a faster process than just allowing the board to review your current application?
And also to clear my record and apologize for any mistakes that I have done before,
Okay.
and prove that I have clean records since then.
And you understand that the documents you've presented just today on this petition don't yet show 1 year of qualifying experience because it starts in March of 2025.
Actually, no, it does, because I have this one too that you did not add.
Right, that was not in your petition packet today. You didn't submit that today.
I mean, it's the second page.
That shows that you worked there, kind of like a resume.
Well, it's a work experience.
Right, but this individual has not provided a letter today.
Not on this one, but on the last one.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Okay, sir, we're going to go down the line. I'm going to call on each board member to see if they have any questions. Can you have the couple over here turn your name tags for me? So, Mr. Waldeck, you're first.
There were a lot of, you had a license that was revoked, and there's other licenses you applied to. I've kind of gotten lost a tiny bit. In this particular hearing, what license are you asking to get back?
I have only one license, which is electrical.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have no questions.
Ms. Wong?
Good morning.
Good.
Good morning. I know you're nervous, so yes, it's okay, you know. I am a little confused. So what is your actual title, working for Department of Transportation?
Assistant residential engineer.
Assistant Residential Engineer. Okay. So I saw,
I'm sorry, but there's a nickname, which is inspector. So whatever you choose. but the official one is assistant residence engineer.
So, okay, so the letter, start with the letter today that we have in hand by Miss Christy Connors.
Yes.
So the first paragraph, just under dear board members, and line number 4, and it looks like she said that you serve in an electric engineering role. So were you performing, as an electric engineer, were you performing that role as an electric engineer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's where you get your residence status, right? I mean, the residence experience.
I'm sure, I don't know
I'm
what you mean
just-
by resident.
I'm just trying to see if, you are performing, that role as an electric
Yes, ma'am.
engineer with the
Yeah.
electric engineering near title.
So when we have a project, let's say this is street over here, what do you call it? North Market Boulevard, right? So let's say they wanna do upgrade the traffic light, right? So at the beginning, before they do everything, the designers have to put everything on drawings. So I get involved on looking at the drawings, seeing how things will be working or not. We visit the site, we see if it's possible to do it, if it's not. And then after the drawing is done, then we have it up for bids. And then you have contractors and subcontractors bidding for it. And then when they bid, they win then my real role comes in. So before it was just like advising, but after that, I have to make sure that when they apply their work, their electrical work, which is all the cables, all the conduits, all the pull boxes, all the wirings and the controls and everything, follows the drawings. So we have to do that. And then after we finish that, we have several inspections and we have several meetings. And then we have to talk about all the problems. Mainly it's been happening with Edison. They just take them too long to fix a problem. And then we got the state furnished materials, which that also takes a long time. So I have to do some planning ahead for all the electrical components and all that stuff to make sure everything will be on time, because if it's overtime, then we pay more.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you for the explanation. I have one more. So on your, on page 16, that's in your packet. And that's a letter from Department of Transportation written by Lawrence Yakub.
Yes, ma'am.
So he said that your title is Transportation Electrical Engineer.
Yes.
So it's different than what you just said, that you're the resident.
Yeah. So when you apply, and there is an official term and there is a public term. So when I go, I don't. If I meet with contractor, I'm not going to tell them I'm an assistant residence engineer. They probably won't understand. Which nowadays you just make it easier on them. Just say I'm an inspector. Okay, But I am an electrical engineer doing electrical work, finding ways to fix electrical problems only. Besides the civil, the civil have their work, and then the environmental have their work, and then you got the landscape have their work. But I concentrate only on electrical.
So you're allowed to practice electrical engineer without the engineering title and the license?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes. It's according to the state, yes, that's my work. I have to.
So I have one more question. Thank you.
Yes,
I have one more question. So you went, you appear on the board back in 2020.
Yes.
And so, so the ALJ way back, the judge, basically, in the recommendation, in his packet, did mention about, that you have not correct, the problems.
Yes.
So what have you done, to correct the problems?
So that's why I have written the whole history, so all of you can see not just one page or one day or 1 week, so you can see the whole history, so you can make a better judgment. So since then, working at the schools, developing all the engineering manuals for the schools, and then got my teaching credentials, working for Caltrans, and I've been investigated by, the county sheriffs and the state, and they all cleared. They said, I have a clean record.
So it seems to me that the problem comes from, the wrong, finding the wrong people for the for your reference.
That I did not evaluate them correctly. So I apologize for that.
And you did not, so you did not correct the problems way back when about finding the right people to give you the reference. I thought that would probably be the most
I see what you. Back then, I was not in the United States. I was in a war zone. I got deployed. So I was in Iraq war and in Afghanistan war. So I really, what I cared about was to come back safe for my family. So I did not work on it back then, no. I just wanted to come back safe.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I have no further question.
Mr. Amistad.
Thank you, Your Honor. Welcome and thanks for being here for the board. We do appreciate that, Mr. Kissing. So a couple of questions. Obviously, you acted in good faith, getting these recommendations without the complete knowledge that the ones who wrote these were not qualified. Were you ever suspicious of their backgrounds?
I mean, generally, people are good. I take them face value. They're good people.
You were very trusting.
Yeah.
Okay. And given that you did bring them into your circle here, and now it's coming back to haunt you, what would you have done differently if you were in that same position?
I would have never applied for the mechanical. I would be satisfied with the electrical and I would have I was already PE. I shouldn't have tried to take the mechanical test. Maybe I would have tell them, hey, are you sure you qualify?
I see. One follow-up question. So you do have a master's in EE, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you applied for a teaching credential.
Yes, sir.
And you were granted a teaching credential?
No, I stopped it. I was working at the California Department of Corrections, teaching prisoners, and you have 6 months to get the teaching credential. But when I applied to them, one of the questions was, have you ever had a license that was revoked? So I said, yes, I had my electrical revoked. So then I had to fly here and meet with the board. And then they find out, okay, he's good. But by the time they issued me the license, it was after the 6 months. So they said, okay, you can leave. And then when you get the license, come back. But I didn't go back. It wasn't easy teaching prisoners, inmates, a profession so they can be good citizens. It was really very environment.
Not conducive.
Yeah. So.
I understand. That's about it, Your Honor.
Mr. Ruffino.
Thank you, Your Honor. And thank you, sir, for being here today.
this morning. I have a couple quick questions to clarify it because I'm a little confused. Let me start off, by the way, your last comment, when you were teaching, you were a vocational instructor.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And because you didn't get your license, your credential, then you could not continue in that role.
Yes.
But you were a vocational instructor.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not going to ask the question. Let me bring you to what you're doing now today for the Department of Transportation.
Yes.
And there's been several questions about your title, your informal title, I want to ask you, what's your civil service classification currently, right now? Do you know what I mean by civil service? What's your actual title in your ID? Forget about all the informal titles.
I have it in my backpack. Can I bring it?
That's okay. You don't know, you don't remember, you don't know?
I mean, you work for the state. Whatever they tell you, you do. My boss says you put down as an electrical engineer. I put down as an electrical.
No. We're not talking about.
Yeah, I know.
I'm asking, when you took the test, you had to take a test in order to get this job with the Department of Transportation, yes? How did you get the job?
You apply through Cal Careers.
Correct. And then you got on the list. When you applied,
Yes.
what was the title of that, in that application?
Transportation engineer electrical.
Okay, so it was transportation engineer electrical.
Yes, and then transportation engineer civil, transportation engineer, but the title was transportation engineer electrical.
Perfect. Okay, transportation engineer electrical. On that application, there was minimum qualifications in order for you to take the test in Cal Career that you had to meet. In that application, when you read the bulletin that described the duties and described the minimum qualifications in order to qualify,
Yes.
was there a reference that said that require you to have a license?
If you, the one, they have four layers of pay, A, B, C, D, and it says if you have a license, you qualify for a D. But if you do not have a license, then you qualify for A, B, or C, depend on your experience. That's where they put you.
Got it. Okay, so the Department of Transportation determines whether you have a license or not.
Yes, sir.
In order for you to qualify, in order for you to take the exam, in order for you to be hired. And I'm assuming that the personnel, the testing department, they do check and they do make sure, before they admit you to the examination, before they offer you the job, I'm going to assume that they did their due diligence and you pass. So I just want to be clear about that because there's been a questions being raised about whether or not you're doing right now work that requires a license. And if you do it, you said, well, informally, if they're short, they do. Well, that's on your department and your boss, he's taking a huge liability. But in theory and in principle, what you're doing for your job classification today, it is my understanding that you do not require a license in order to do what you're doing today.
I can do my work today without a license.
Great. Perfect. All right. Thank you for clarifying that. Sorry.
No, thank you. And also, it took the HR almost 3 months to give me an offer letter.
A job offer.
A job offer. 3 months.
Okay. I'm going to paraphrase it. One additional question real quick here. You apologized at the beginning of your presentation, and you apologized just a minute ago.
Yes, sir.
And you said, and I'm rephrasing it, you say something, I did not evaluate the reference carefully, quote unquote, something to that effect. In retrospect, obviously you understand that the board made a decision and found that your references were not qualified.
Yes.
And therefore, that constituted false statement. Okay, so that's been established. I'm not asking about that. What I want to ask you is, back then, when you submit the application, do you knowingly knew that you were submitting
a reference that did not qualify, therefore making it a false statement? Or do you thought honestly that you were okay? Those reference satisfy the requirement. What I'm trying to understand back then, your thinking process.
I mean, this is like 25 years ago.
Fair.
I'm not sure how to answer it. I've been through in the past 25 years. Now to think that far, I don't know how to answer that.
Well, did you knowingly knew? Did you knew at the time that you were submitting?
Of course not. If I knew, there is no way I would, that would ruin my reputation. I would not even get a job. I would not, it has many consequences in the future because, but that is just not me. I don't do these stuff. It's not worth it. I just don't do that stuff.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir. Thank you again for being here, and thank you, Honor. I'm done.
President Martinez.
Okay, I have a handful of questions to kind of lead into each other, I think. So you work at Caltrans, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it sounds like you're on the construction management side, not on the design side of the house.
Not management.
Construction. Yeah, construction management, not management supervisor, but the construction.
Yes.
Yeah, you're an inspector on the construction side of the house. Right. You have 4 letters from 4 supervisors. I'm assuming the way you stated it, it sounds like they're each other's boss going up the line. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Are any of those, are they civil licenses? Are they electricals? Your direct supervisor, is it an electrical license or a civil license?
Yes, my direct supervisor is Lawrence Yakub, and he is electrical.
Okay.
And the other one is also another boss. He's also electrical, Mr. Arid. And the other one is not a boss, but he's a residence engineer. He's also electrical. But the deputy director, Christy Connors, she's civil.
Okay. In your position as an inspector,
Yes.
In Caltrans, do you supervise anyone?
The contractors.
Just the contractors that have bid on a project and are now working on Caltrans
Contract
projects
and subcontract.
and subcontractors. Okay, so you don't supervise any direct staff.
Not Caltrans, no.
Okay,
No.
and your direct supervisor is a licensed electrical engineer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have the name, sorry. Person to my left. Mr. Hartley.
Michael Hartley. Thank you for your service, civilian and otherwise. During your work at on the job at Caltrans, during your work there, how do you differentiate between work that you can do without supervision and work that requires it be done under the direction of an electrical engineer? How do you differentiate between those two?
You mean a licensed versus non-licensed?
Yeah.
Because we're all electrical engineers.
Well, you're not an electrical engineer.
I am. I graduated with a bachelor and a master degree in electrical engineering.
Are you, according to the laws of the state of California and the Business and Profession Code, you're allowed to call yourself an electrical engineer?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they all called me, these people. And they are all my supervisors.
Well, what I was asking was maybe the wrong question. In your work at Caltrans, does some of your work require it be done by an electrical engineer and some of the work doesn't require a license at all? I'm not trying to trip you up here.
Okay, so when I started, there was a lot of unknowns. So I had to call my boss, which he's licensed, to say, hey, I got this problem. Should I go this way or that way?
Okay.
And he tells me go this way. But after time, after a few months, no, I knew my work because I worked and I knew all this stuff. And besides, I was a teacher for 12 years.
So is most of your work done without supervision of another electrical engineer?
At the beginning it was, but now no. At the beginning it was when I started working. But now only if it's a big problem, just like last week. Edison had delayed on provide us with service, and I called my boss, and then I gave him send an email, and so he had to set up a meeting between us and Edison, try to figure out how to fix the problem. So he's in charge now. So I still use him, but not as much when I started work.
Are any of the tasks that you do in your role at Caltrans done by people that would normally be licensed as electrical engineers, but because of the
My work,
shorthandedness of PEs?
that's another problem we have at Caltrans. We are short on PEs. Electrical PEs seems to have more civil PEs, but electrical, no. The whole, my county, which is District 8, San Bernardino County, which is the biggest county in the United States, only my boss has a PE out of 7.
Out of 7 what?
Seven people in that section, which is, we're all inspectors. He's the only one who's resident. So if he moves on, will be an issue.
And you're a resident engineer, is that right?
He is the resident.
Oh, he's the resident.
Yes, sir.
And you're an assistant resident.
I'm an assistant. Yes, sir.
Are the other 6 also
Yes.
assistant resident engineers?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a big county.
So all 7 assistant resident engineers.
Assistant engineer and one residence engineer, which is the PE, which is Yaqub.
So all of their work, all of the other 5 and all of your work is done under the direction of the resident engineer.
Yeah.
Yaqub is his name?
So if it's pure electric, yes. But we have a lot of civil that requires electric. So my boss will be a civil guy.
Okay.
So I have Mr. Alfonso. He's a PE licensed civil. So my boss says, okay, you use Claude for the electrical stuff for his project. And sometimes when he gets project that it's all just electrical, then I'll do some of his work.
Thank you for your answers. So you do currently have an application pending with BPELS for an electrical engineer license?
Yeah, because I thought the thing doesn't expire, the test, it doesn't expire.
And yet when you took the test, you weren't, when you took the NCEES electrical engineering license test.
Yes.
You did so without the proper qualifications.
According to the board, yes, sir. Yes.
Are you willing and able to take that test again?
Well, I mean, back then I was much younger. I'm gonna hit 60 next year, so I'm thinking more like,
Well, you're teaching the classes.
Sorry.
You're
I
teaching the classes.
I did, and I also developed manuals and lab manuals, but I'm not sure if I want to put myself and my family through that stress. It was, I guess, when I'm younger, I can handle better stress. Now, I'm working with the state. I'll probably be there a few years and then retire. So now I have to start all over. I have to take the refresher class, which is 6 months, and then take a test, and then who knows, maybe yes, maybe no. But that still would not clear my name. I really want to prove to the board that I am a good person.
Just a minute, Your Honor.
Sure.
Who are the, as part of your current pending license application,
Yes,
are the letters of, you've submitted letters of reference?
yes, sir.
From
6 of them.
6 of them
Yes.
on official, not these types
No, so,
of letters?
no, it has to be online.
Okay,
I did it online and through the email, they have to do it. And some of them are these people, except the deputy director. She was not.
okay, that was going to be my questions. Same people
These are 3 of
submitted the
them.
letters.
Yeah,
Wait till he finishes his question. So 1 second. Go ahead.
So in general, the references that you've submitted or who have submitted online reference verification are the same people who have written the letters that were in your packet?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
3 of them. 3 out of 4 of these reference letters today is from them. There are 3 more that I could not because of the holidays and Christmas and New Year. I couldn't get hold of them.
Okay, that is all of my questions. Thank you.
I don't have a name as well, sorry.
So I have a question partially from the staff. So I think part of this is we recognizing if the references is okay, and this is not something the board do, this is something that the staff do. Is there a way that the staff, whoever check that the experience is qualified and are the references okay, do on this case, separately and say, okay, these are qualified? Do you understand my question?
Your Honor, can I respond?
Just generally about process, yeah.
Generally speaking,
Well, what I'm asking is, there are 2 ways that he can get licensed. One is to go through the regular application, do the exam, do everything, and then get the license. The other way is he revoke his license. Initially, his experience and references were not adequate. So he's providing document for the new references and new document. And I'm not an expert of electrical engineer to see, okay, is this what he has done matches to make that determination and say, okay, we can revoke it. And we use somebody that is his, job to do this, to do that review for us. And then we say, pending that, that person say, okay, this is, the references are okay, and then the experience is okay, and then he verifies it, and then we accept it as okay, he has all of those qualifications, and he may revoke his license. You follow me? Or I have to make the determination. I have to go and, read what is the electrical.
the only thing I think the only thing I can say is you as the board needs to decide.
This is Rick Moore, by the way. I think the only thing I would say is that is a decision that is up to the board to decide the best pathway.
Yeah, I'll interject. The board's going to have to decide this just on the 4 corners of what was submitted. If you don't think that's sufficient, you're going to have to determine that. We need to determine that in closed session, but we can't get outside information about whether other references were valid. That's why I told Mr. Moore to only answer to process, which he did, but anything further than that, we just have to go on what was submitted.
Your Honor, can I ask a question on that?
Yep.
Tom Hallinan. It was my understanding that the record so far indicates that the initial application, those references were misrepresented. Is that correct?
That's the prior decision, yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Villegas?
No questions.
Ms. Haggard?
No questions, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Hallinan?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Morning, Mr. Kaseya. So I looked at the record and I sat here and heard your testimony and had concerns that you didn't accept responsibility and then have any remorse for what initially happened. You talked about filling out the form incorrectly and that you had a clear record, which you now say you seek. So I asked that question because I wanted to make sure it was okay to say that, those misrepresentations were made. And the questions that the Attorney General asked, again, I see you trying to minimize your conduct. And I want to follow up on what Commissioner Rufino had asked, and that is, what did you want to apologize, if you want to apologize for anything back then? And that's unclear to me. So let me just ask you today, as you're sitting here today, do you have anything you would like to apologize for related to your application?
Yes, sir. I would like to apologize for anything and everything that I misrepresented or documented or did not verify or anything, whatever it is.
Well, let's be, so why don't you name one?
The application.
And what did you do on the application?
Misrepresented the engineers who I used as a reference.
Okay, that's an answer. Thank you. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Any other questions, any other board members?
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
The position you're in currently, it's considered an entry-level position, I'm assuming? Okay, thank you.
Okay. The board members have asked their questions, so that concludes the petition hearing in this matter. The record is, yes, sir?
Is it possible, not for me, but for the board, is it possible to look at the references that this gentleman was asking about with my application?
The board's going to look at the record that was presented today. That's all they're going to look at.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right, so that concludes the petition hearing in this matter. The record is closed, the case is submitted, and we are off the record.
Yeah, let's take a 15-minute break, and then we're going to go into closed session. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is a meeting for the Board for Professional Engineers, Land Surveyors, and Geologists. It is 1:42 p.m. and we're back in regular session. We are going to start with a second public comment item for individuals that were not here this morning. So if there's someone in the room that would like to make a public comment, please come on up. Seeing, yep. Mike, he's a mic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep. William Estepa with ACEC California. Just wanted to give notice that we're here representing, and thanks for allowing us to be a part of this meeting.
Thank you. Sir, is there anyone else in the room that would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
All right, WebEx, now is the time to raise your hand for items not on the agenda. You can do so by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few more seconds to see if we have a request online for public comment. Seeing no request, you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Saw some new faces walk in. Is there anyone that would like to make a public comment? Yeah. Okay.
There it is. Hi, good afternoon, board members and staff. I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Lucia Saldivar, and I'm the new Deputy Director of Board and Bureau Relations over at the Department of Consumer Affairs. I was appointed by Governor Newsom in October of last year, and prior to assuming this position, I most recently was working in the state legislature, previously serving as Chief of Staff for Assemblymember Lisa Calderon. I am looking so forward to working with all of you in this new role, and I just wanted to introduce myself. If our Board and Bureau Relations team could ever be of any assistance to you, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments from the public? Okay. Seeing none, we're moving on to item 6, consideration of rulemaking proposals.
Okay, well, I'll do it. I'll do it and you can correct me afterward. Let me get to it. Okay, this will begin on page 17 of your packet. Oh, now you're coming up?
Tough crowd.
You're good. I'm better at oral support. Go for it.
Push. All right. Again, Dawn Hall, Unit Manager for Administrative Services. We're asking for approval for this, right? Is that where we're at? Okay. So I believe it was summer of 2024, we introduced a study that we had done and asked the board to approve a fee increase, a regulations package for fee increases. When we've gone through several iterations of that and brought to the board some requests for approval to do the regulations for that. And this is the final action in order to get approval. So it went out to public comment period. We did get one public comment outside of the comment period. It is included in this package. And we're asking for a motion to move forward with this.
So
Does anybody have any questions about the fee increase package?
after your discussion, when you're ready for the motion, I'll read the motion to you that we need to have you guys consider.
Okay. Christina?
I have to read the motion to you that you're going to make.
No, I'm going to make a motion that what you're going to read.
I think I probably should read it first.
Let's go with that, Rick.
Okay, why don't you read it?
Are you ready for it? Okay.
Yes.
So a recommended motion is move to direct staff to take all steps necessary to complete the rulemaking process, including adopting a response to the single untimely comment received, and the filing of the final rulemaking package with the Office of Administrative Law, authorizing the executive officer to make any non-substantive changes to the proposed regulations before completing the rulemaking process, and adopting the proposed regulations at sections 407 and 3005 as noticed.
That's the motion that I want to make.
Exactly what you were thinking, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Great,
Yes.
great minds think alike. Do I have a second? I have a second from Rosanna. Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing no discussion from the board. Is there any public comment from individuals in the room? Seeing no hands. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx, if you'd like to make a comment on the motion, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few more seconds to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no requests, do you wish to continue with the motion?
Yes, thank you.
I'd just like to make one comment before you vote. This is probably the third fee change that I've been through here at the board. This is the first one we only have one comment. Usually we'll get 10 to 12 comments. But I think a lot of it is due to the fact that you as a board discussed this for about a year openly in all of the board meetings. And you gave it a lot of consideration. And I think that helped a lot of people. I would like to think that was really contributed to that. So I just want to thank you all for that.
And thank you and all the staff for all the hard work on this. Selena, can you please call the vote?
President Martinez,
Yes.
Vice President Rufino,
Yes.
Dr. Amistad,
Yes.
Dr. Ascari,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antonio,
Yes.
Ms. Haggard,
Yes.
Mr. Hallinan, Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Yes.
Mr. Villegas,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck,
Yes.
Ms. Wong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay. Seeing no other items for this item, moving on to item 7, administration.
So the financial report begins in the board materials on page 26 with the revenues. There's been no change in the full year projection for revenues. And the current year has been updated through FM4. So you can take a look. Let me know if you have any questions about the revenues there. Still early in the year, so.
Yep. Cliff?
So skipping ahead to page 28, all right?
There's some highlighted stuff there in the corner. Page
That's
28.
Usually, the items that we may adjust during the course of the year. That's the current year projections. And so on page 28, that's the fund condition. I am going to have some more comments about the fund condition, but the current year are the highlighted areas are just where we do make adjustments or change the projections. We haven't changed the revenue projections, but we have increased the expense projection slightly.
There to catch your attention.
Yeah.
Are there any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, I will open up for.
If I may
yes.
go on to page 27, which is the expenses. Like I said, that was, we did increase the expenses slightly over the last presentation of the board materials. We're still under the governor's budget there. And then finally, 28 is the fund condition. I did want to just address that in budget year and budget year +1, we have revised the revenue projections to reflect the fee increase, what we expect to show for the fee increase. That has a significant and positive effect on the fund condition and months in reserve. And so you can see that trending up. thank you for passing the motion for the fee increase. That makes the months in reserve and the fund condition more stable. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yep.
Just one little thing. So so page 27, staff benefits. I know there's nothing much, you can do about that, but it looks like, the benefits just increase percentage wise. And it's a big item. And so, I just want to make a comment. And it looks like it's just, in terms of the projection, now it's like at 40% so just want to make a note and see if, any explanation or any reason or anything that needs to be done. And
You're asking if we could reduce the staff benefit?
no, I'm not saying that, I know that there's no way that we can reduce the staff benefit, but I'm just wondering that it's really about the projection that, it is a pretty big amount increase. And okay, let me make my point clearer. So because now, we're in fiscal month 4, and so if we've already reached 40%, right? And so is there a need maybe like, down the road in terms of the budget, that you have like a better adjustment or, yeah, it's just a little pop up and say, ooh, 40%,
That's pretty standard.
It's a pretty standard.
Yeah, across most industries in terms of a percentage of the total spend for employees. At least that's been my experience. But these benefits are negotiated with the unions and not really anything that we can affect. Yeah.
I know what's wrong. I read it wrong. My bad.
Yeah, keep in mind, that's fiscal month 4, so 40%.
Right.
It tends to be aligning a little bit. Yeah.
It's right around there.
Right.
But at the same time, it just like looks a little bit more. And so it's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Maybe it's not really an issue, it's just me. I'm sorry about that.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Are there any questions or any comments from the public in the room? Seeing none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is taking public comment on agenda item 7. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few moments to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 8, enforcement.
Brooke Kowalski, the Enforcement Program Manager. The enforcement stats begin on page 33. Overall, we're receiving more complaint cases. Staff is doing, I think, a pretty good job at keeping up with those as best they can. Timeframes look like they're reducing across the board, so I think that they're all doing a really great job. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
I just want to say great job. I mean, looking at the tables and figures on page 33, it seems like you've gotten in the first half of this fiscal year, you've gotten way more, like you mentioned, complaints, and you've competed way more. You're on a pretty good trajectory to have record cases this year resolved. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Nope. Any comments from the public in the room? Nope. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment on agenda item 8. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users, dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few seconds to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, hold on, Brett. We have one more question for Mike.
Is there any statistic or chart or graph or anything that you're particularly proud of your staff for accomplishing that you would like to highlight?
All of them. Average days from opening a complaint to the completion of investigation has gone down. The number of investigations that are open is going up, but we really don't have a lot of control over that. I did note that the number of citations, the percentage seems to be coming down again compared to last year. It was quite a lot higher, and I don't have an explanation for that. I'm just noticing the trend. But the days between the issuance of citation to it becoming final, the number of days with the formal discipline referrals has come down a bit. So like overall, it is looking very good for the challenges that we're facing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I think you're good. Okay. Moving on to item 9, exams and licensing.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Carest. I am the Exam Development Manager.
And I'm Cheryl Guidi. I work on the California Specific Exam, Geology Exam, and the PGP exam.
And we're here today to present to you the new test specifications for the Professional Geophysicist exam, what we call the PG exam, which is particularly exciting, I think, in the sense that this is the last of the current cycle of new test specs for all 9 of our exams. So we'll have a break of a year or two before we start all over again. But we wanted to present this to you today for your approval. And it starts on page 41. I do notice that Betsy isn't here, and I'm sure she would like to have some input, although she did send comments regarding it to Rick, which I'd like to address so I could at least give you what her comments were about these test specs. So Betsy had 2 comments. Her first one was for 2B, which was to change the words compliance to compliance with. And then her second one was 3.2, where she wanted to delete the words and engineering. And engineering considerations, what her explanation was, engineering considerations are important for geophysical projects that provide data for planning, design, construction, and repair of fixed works. But this refers to principles of analysis, and geophysicists don't use engineering principles for their analyses. There may be a different way to read this activity description, but that's my take.
Which item was that again?
That was 3.2.
So I'll add a little bit to this. So on page 43, 2B, so 2 refers to the domain that's in blue, and B is in the white area underneath that. So B currently says the evaluation of quality control, QC, results for compliance to project requirements. And she's recommending that to say compliance with project requirements, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So her comments have not been incorporated.
No.
No, they have not.
We received them yesterday. And what was the other one?
3.2.
3.2. So this is on the bottom of page 43. Again, domain 3 in blue and then 2 in blue. And see the example, e.g., incorporating geologic and engineering considerations, choosing appropriate filters and modeling. Keep in mind that, what did she say it should say?
She was actually just saying that it should not have and engineering.
Okay.
We should delete where it says and engineering.
So keep in mind that what is e.g., this is typically how it's looked at in the exam world. When it says e.g., the idea behind that is these could be examples of what we mean by analyze geophysical data using appropriate principles. So it's not, what's most important is what's not in parentheses for that line. The examples are there, but it does give some indication to the people preparing items for the exam and to the people taking the exam of what they may expect. And I don't know if we received this in time for your staff to look at this. Cheryl, do you have any thoughts on it?
Actually, Josh was able to respond to it.
Great.
If you'd like, I'll read it to you since.
Sure.
Discussion. When someone is analyzing geophysical data, it is important for them to understand both geological and engineering considerations. For example, if the proposed project is a high-rise building, the PGP, the geophysicist, would choose a geophysical technique capable of evaluating subsurface materials at depth depending on the geologic material involved, thus incorporating geologic and engineering considerations into the geophysical model is of great importance.
Thank you. I appreciate you getting some input from Josh before he headed out of town.
Yes.
I also point out from an examination point of view, what's in blue is the domain. So that's the primary section of the practice that is being tested on. So in this case, domain 3, data processing, analysis, interpretation, presentation. What questions are actually written to is what's in the white area below that. So that would be, in this case, it would be A through K. That's where the questions are targeted toward. So that's what the applicants want to make sure that they're prepared for when they're sitting for the exam, what they can expect and what the item writers are writing to. So they're not really writing to the domain language. It's more of the knowledge area and the skills below that. So I think our recommendation, if I'm hearing you and Josh and Betsy, is that we believe that the group that came up with this, the group of experts that helped work with with Prometric on this, and Cheryl with you, they came up with this because they felt this was important to understanding this as far as the practice, right?
Right, yes. Josh didn't feel like we should change this because the geophysicists came up with this.
Larry, could you read Betsy's comments one more time regarding the use of the word engineering?
Sure.
Yeah, right there. It's or Betsy's comments or
Yeah,
Josh's comments?
Betsy's.
Okay, Betsy.
That's right here. Okay, Betsy's comment was to delete the words and engineering. And her comment was engineering considerations are important for geophysical projects that provide data for planning, design, construction, and repair of fixed works. But this refers to principles of analysis, and geophysicists don't use engineering principles for their analyses. There may be a different way to read this activity description, but that's my take.
Thank you.
Sure. Does anybody have any questions on any of that?
So you have a couple options. One option is what we're recommending is to accept or adopt the test plan as provided to you. Another option is to accept the test plan with the recommended changes from Betsy, after you've heard what Betsy has had to say and staff has had to say, including Josh. So that's your two options, whatever you want to do there.
Rosanna?
So I move that we adopt the specifications as is and to thank Betsy for her comments.
Do I have a second?
I second.
A second from Phil. Okay. Is there any further discussion from the board?
I actually think from a grammatical standpoint that her suggestion to substitute to with is an appropriate grammatical change. I would respectfully ask Rosanna to amend her motion to accept that one change from Betsy.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Okay. So new motion with a change?
I second.
A second? Okay, seconded again. Any further discussion from the board? No.
And maybe we should let Betsy and Josh put on some boxing gloves and figure out who really wins.
First of all, I doubt you'd actually find a geophysicist at a party. There's only 140 of them anyhow.
Spoken by a true land surveyor. Okay.
That was a good suggestion, Mike. I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to make a public comment? See none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment. If you'd like to make a comment on the motion, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few more seconds to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no requests, do you wish to continue with the motion?
Yes, thank you. Okay, Selena, can you please call the vote?
President Martinez,
Yes.
Vice President Rufino,
Yes.
Dr. Amistad,
Yes.
Dr. Ascari,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antonio,
Yes.
Ms. Haggard,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Yes.
Mr. Villegas,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck,
Yes.
Ms. Wong,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
And just for clarification, that approval does include changing the compliance to compliance with. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And that's all we have for you today.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so moving on to item 10, legislation.
So legislation. We're going to go to the legislative calendar on page 51. This is the rare time of the year when you don't have any bills to look at. Important dates. This is the second year of a 2-year legislative cycle. So the important dates to see is January 16th, tomorrow. It's the last day for policy committees to consider any bills that were introduced last year. And then January 23rd is the last day for any committee to hear and report to the floor bills that were introduced in the odd number of last year. And then the next day, that's January 31st, is the last day for each house to pass bills introduced from last year. And then February 20th is the last day for bills to be introduced for this year. So they have a lot of work that I'm sure they're considering right now, starting tomorrow. And well, I'm sure we'll know more at the next board meeting if there's any bills for us to keep track of. We've heard a few rumors, but we don't really have anything substantive for the board to even consider at this point, but I'm sure there will be some for you at this next board meeting.
Nancy really was the driving force behind legislative following. It seems like, who is that person now?
Well,
or which group of?
It was me and Nancy.
Okay.
We would tag team on it. We both kind of had our strengths on that. Now it's me and Tiffany. Before me and Nancy did it, it was our then assistant executive officer. And my understanding is before it was the assistant executive officer also. it always seems to be historically with this board, it was more of the assistant executive officer with the executive officer, depending on the situation. But it's right now, it's me and Tiffany.
Is there any other comments from the board? No. Are there any comments from the public in the room? Seeing none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment on agenda item 10. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a moment longer to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request, you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 11, Executive Officers Report.
Okay, I'm going to start with the rulemaking status report, which is on page 55. This is reflecting an update up until about a half hour ago when you approved the final rulemaking proposal for item 1, the fees. That'll be updated this next time. Now that we've gotten past that stage, staff is actively working on 2 and 3 and 4 right now. We're trying to accelerate the timetables on those so that we can get through some of these rulemaking. But that's where they're working right now. Thank you for hoping to get the fee package to where it is. We're still anticipating that will become effective beginning July 1st of this year. We'll know more as we get to each of the next couple of board meetings. And we're actively working on the other ones.
Are there any comments from the board or questions? No, that's right.
I'd just like to point out, I think item 1, it's supposed to be January 15th, 2026.
Good catch. Angela's probably online going, what?
Rosanna.
Good catch, yes. The first line should be January 15th, 2026.
Rosanna, you had a question?
Yeah, so Rick, is number 5 the item associated with the International Mutual Recognition Agreement?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So it's in this order, they're working on 2, 3, 4, and then?
Yeah, as I explained before, 5 really is highly dependent on what we do with 4. So when I said that we're trying to accelerate 2, 3, and 4, it's kind of in 2 stages. We're trying to accelerate 2 and 3 because we've been working on those for a while. But 4, we're going to take care of some of the prep for 5 because we're concerned that if we move 5 ahead of 4, that we may be redoing some of 5 after we do 4.
Okay.
Or while doing 4.
Understood. Thank you.
4 really is a modernization of a lot of our application language and rules to coincide with Connect. That's what that is.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions on the board? Are there any comments from anyone in the public? See none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is taking public comment on agenda item 11. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few more seconds to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request, you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, thank you.
Guillermo, I'm going to do 2 or B and C together, and then you can ask for public comment if you'd like.
Sounds good.
Because they'll be short. Personnel actually have something to report this time. Bruce, can you come up if you don't mind? Josh warned you. We'd like to introduce our new senior registrar, professional engineer, Bruce Locken.
Welcome.
He literally just started Tuesday.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to introduce yourself or. The key word is yet. He's on probation. So it's, we're very happy to have him here. You're a licensed mechanical engineer. So a couple things. This is the first licensed mechanical engineer we've had on staff in 19 years.
Wow.
So it's really kind of interesting. The other thing is he's been here since Tuesday, and other than filling out the mountain of paperwork you have to do, he's already been training and working on applications. So between the other registrars, Dallas and Natalie and Josh helping him, they've thrown him into the fire right away, and he's taken it. So just want to introduce you.
Welcome aboard.
That's what I have for personnel. I don't know if anyone has any questions on that. ABET, we have no update on that right now. We'll not have an update on that until probably around July or August.
All right. Any questions, comments from the board? No. Opening the floor for public comment for items 11B and C. The none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment on personnel and ABET. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a moment longer to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request, do you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with D, the report on ASBOG. So what we have is we have the next Council of Examiners meeting coming up April 9th through the 11th. This is where they work on the national geology exams. This is in Branson, Missouri. I've already asked Betsy, because she's the only licensed geologist on the board, if she was hoping to go, and she said yes. She likes to work on the exam to make sure it meets California's needs. And so we've already started the out-of-state travel request on this, assuming that you will approve a board member to go. I'm thinking Betsy. So that's what we're seeking you to do, is say yes. We would like Betsy to attend that.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second from Christina. Is there any discussion from the board?
Yeah, can I ask a question? Has Betsy been asked?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, sorry, I missed that part.
It's okay.
I thought she was just being voluntold.
No.
Any other questions? No? Are there any members of the public that would like to make a comment? Seeing none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment on D as in Delta and E as in Echo. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few seconds to see if we have a request for public comment.
Okay.
Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to continue?
Yes, thank you. Sina, can you please call the vote?
Who seconded it?
Christina.
Christina.
President Martinez,
Yes.
Vice President Rufino,
Yes.
Dr. Amistad,
Yes.
Dr. Ascari,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antonio,
Yes.
Ms. Haggard,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Excuse me, yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Yes.
Mr. Villegas,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck,
Yes.
Ms. Wong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Well, if you thought that choked you up, Mike, now we're.
I didn't realize I was going to get emotional over that.
Good answer.
So that was actually the easy decision. So this next one, we're going to talk about NCES. We have two items to talk about. Guillermo, you may want to consider doing public comment total for both of them afterward.
Sounds good.
So the first one is the Western Zone interim meeting this year is going to be in Bend, Oregon. It is April 30th to May 2nd. We're not going to be the last zone meeting this year. So that's going to be kind of interesting. We're usually the last one, so we get the scuttlebutt from all the other zone meetings about what happened. We need to choose funded delegates. I have to let NCWS know who the funded delegates are by, I think, Monday or Tuesday. Couple things here. We'll be submitting an out-of-state travel request for this, like we always do. Traditionally, when it's the neighboring state, Oregon and Nevada especially, and Arizona, usually the approvals come a little bit easier because it's our neighboring state. At least that's what I've been told. That's the reason why. I can't guarantee what that will be like this year with budget woes or not, but we have up to 3 funded delegates for the zone meeting. All active board members are eligible, and we also have what's referred to as associate members. Technically, I'm the associate member, but I'm in a category of member board administrator, so I'm separately funded. We have several associate members, staff. That would be Tiffany Criswell. That would be Dallas Sweeney, our staff land surveyor, Natalie King, our staff civil engineer, Larry Crest, our exams manager. I'm sorry, I was thinking something else. And Candace Cummings, our licensing manager. Those are the current ones right now. I'd like to throw out for your consideration, and I'm not sure, this is not something you don't feel like you have to do because I'm throwing it out there. Don't toss my comments aside just because I'm throwing it out there. But we don't often have associate members be able to go to any of these meetings. And being in their neighboring states, that could be easier. It also could be the subtopics that are going to be discussed. Dallas, I think you've been to one zone meeting or one annual meeting? Oh, you've been to one and one. Okay. Natalie, I don't think you've been to any NCWS meeting, have you? You went to a zone meeting. Okay. Well, I forgot these, of course. Tiffany, Dallas works on the national exams. We're trying to get Natalie to be able to be accepted to work in national exams. Tiffany Criswell is the current chair of the law enforcement committee. I know they'll be talking about things there, but she's not funded separately to go to that for any reason. So these are things to take into consideration. Also, our annual meeting this year in August will be in Henderson, Nevada. Again, neighboring state. We'll have 3 funded delegates at that time also, in addition to first-time attendees. So there's things that I would suggest you consider. I did send out an email to all of you. I know Rosanna replied to me that she would like, I think, to make some comments about this, but I just want to throw all that out to you. You do have all these considerations to make, but I need to have 3 names from you.
You also need an alternate.
I do not need an alternate, but it's always good to have an alternate. We rarely have anyone have to cancel, but sure.
Have any of the staff shown interest? Like how many staff are?
Tiffany, Dallas, and Natalie have shown interest.
Okay, thank you.
Have expressed interest to me. And speak up if any of you have interest. Feel free to.
And Brooke.
Brooke is going to be on the list for a future board meeting for us to have you nominate her as associate member, since she's a newer manager, and we can have her be an associate member. That's what we're hoping to do. And we haven't even talked to Bruce about this. It's his 3rd day. He's trying to learn how to spell application.
So, so first of all, I would like to add my name into the mix that I would like to attend, especially since I serve on the DC, on the Western Zone Leadership Development Committee. So if that's approved by the board, I would be happy to continue and to attend. But I also have another question for you, Rick, which I'm trying to understand. Maybe you can help me. Are this going there for staff perspective, is that considered training? Would that be considered training or not really?
In what context, Frank?
Well, in the context of funding, I know that we have a travel budget, and I'm not sure if, there's the $15,000 that have not been spent or accounted for. Maybe they are, I'm not sure, but
Okay,
according to
I see where you're going.
So my whole point, my point that I'm trying to make is try to understand whether or not if we don't have a budget, for these sort of things, especially since
We have a budget.
yes,
We always have a budget.
okay,
We just have to appear like we have a budget crunch, like the state does. So we have a budget. However, in the case of like the ASBOG, anytime we have to spend money, the odds of it being approved drop dramatically.
even though it's budgeted.
It doesn't matter whether it's budgeted or not. The odds that we
What's
have,
the logic behind that? I don't.
now you're getting into political arena and that's a whole different world.
Well,
I speak in rational terms.
I think we have a new liaison that was just appointed, and perhaps she can, because it's been kind of I have had a hard time understanding, because at any other agencies, staff, if it's a legitimate travel for training, it can be approved or denied, of course. But I mean, what I was going to say is maybe in the future, since we have, first of all, it's great to hear that our staff is interested in attending, engaged, and want to be involved. That's awesome. So how can we make that?
I can always submit a request for training. Basically, it's attending conferences and stuff. I can always make that request.
I think we should.
Okay, I can do that, but do you want me to do that in lieu of the out-of-state travel request for this meeting? Because that's a separate request where we would be spending money.
And you need to name specific names.
Absolutely, the specific name.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
it's a different justification. So it would be a separate request.
I totally get that, but I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking in the future. I mean, should we be proactive since we have the level of interest that we have?
We usually don't, because we have funded. That's one reason why NCWS funds certain positions.
Well, that funding, I think, and I could be wrong. I mean, I think that funding and that idea is for board members. Now, if board members were not.
That funding is for all active members, all associate members.
Correct.
And technically all emeritus members.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's all three of them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure out another way.
Totally understand. Lucy, I'm sorry, I should have forewarned you about him.
Is that a record? 1 hour before we ask for something?
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina?
I'd like to also put my name in the hat and, to volunteer, not volunteer, to be one of the funded delegate, because I am the chair of the nominating committee. So I'll be basically helping out with the election in the, during the Western Zone meeting.
Mike?
Rosanna, did you have anything you wanted to?
She's after Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Rick, I was going to ask, so all states have 3 funded delegates by NCWS?
Yes, all states have 3 funded delegates and they fund their MBA separately.
Okay. What, in your opinion, based on past experience, what do other states do? Do they limit it to the 3, or do they send additional attendees, maybe not delegates, but do they send additional attendees for training, for continuing education, for development of staff? What's your?
Majority of the time that I've seen, there's 3 basic camps here. I would say significant portion just send the 3 funded delegates. There are 2 other groups. One group that we're not the only state that deals with out-of-state travel requests and approvals, regardless of budget. And there are some states, I know of one right now that told me last week, they will not be officially sending anyone to the Western Zone meeting because the state will not approve it. So there's groups of states that also have this kind of situation. There's also a few states that the board is more of an independent entity, and they don't have to get approval to spend their money. And they will send almost their entire board and emeritus members to a meeting. That's why there's a few states in the South, west of Mississippi, east of Texas, south of Arkansas, that will tend to send about 12 to 15 people to every meeting, just because they fund them. And they're not doing anything wrong or anything, they just fund them, and they can spend their money without the kind of restrictions we have here in California. Kind of controls, I should say, not restrictions. So it really is a mix. The only other time I've really seen boards send people for training is specifically a law enforcement type of situation. They may send their board attorneys, they may send their enforcement staff. That's how both Nancy and Tiffany started.
Can I ask her?
Donna, Ali.
So my email to Rick was to let him know that I'm on the bylaws committee, and being as I'm the only member in the Western Zone, should I attend, I would be the one presenting the changes to the bylaws. However, I did ask, because knowing that we're always jockeying for these positions, and I was told that if I didn't go, then staff, Davey, NCWS staff, Davey, what's his name?
McDowell, CEO.
The CEO, or Andy would do the presentation on my behalf. So I would be more than happy to have one of the staff members attend, given the fact that I think it's a really valuable event. And I think every once in a while we should, extend that opportunity to staff. So there's that.
Ali?
So I wanted to ask, can staff also go to annual meeting, or they can only go to?
Absolutely. Any of them that are associate members can go to any of the NCWS meetings.
And Frank, are you going to annual meeting as well as zone meeting? Or maybe you can, one of them, give it to staff?
If the board allows me, and I would like to continue my service, yes.
I think the question was, can you select one and let in the other one of the staff goes?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you, yeah.
You ask me what? I don't get it. I don't understand. Are you asking me to, but I'm
asking, do you also plan to go to the annual meeting?
Yes.
So I was saying, can in one of them, you allow one of the staff go, and then in the other one, you participate?
Why are you directing that to me? Why are you specifically asking me? There's three of us that want to go. So I'm not understanding what are you asking me? And that's a board decision. The board can certainly make a decision.
So right now, by my count, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have Rosanna, Christina, Frank, Dallas, Natalie, and Tiffany. That's your six on the table right now, unless we hear more. And you need to pick three of those. That's your decision.
Question.
Well, but I was willing to forego my spot for staff.
Okay, so then we got two board members, Christina, Frank, and an open spot for staff right now. That's what I'm hearing.
Is there not any other way to send more than three?
The only other way would be for us to fund them. And we could fund them by including them in the out-of-state travel request and say, here's how much we'll pay to do that. Or we could try to do what Frank suggested, is to do it as a training thing, as a separate request. It's just under a different type of scrutiny. I don't know if a training request goes all the way to the governor's office. My understanding is it may only go to DCA, but we'll see. It could be two separate vehicles.
The three funded delegates will seemingly cost the state of California nothing because they are funded positions.
Correct.
So what we would be potentially asking for is for our state to fund three attendees. I think we still only have 3 delegates, right?
Yeah.
3 voting delegates.
Yeah.
But we can have additional attendees.
I mean, yeah, they all vote as one when they vote, but it's all about a discussion between the representatives that are there. Yes.
So I think what is in front of this board is to craft a motion that would allow Rick to name 3 delegates, but also request an additional 3 slots for additional attendees.
We could do that. And just, I want you to keep in mind that the last couple out-of-state travel requests, we requested 3 and we were approved less than 3. Not because we don't have the money, but because they do not want to approve that many going, despite our rationale and justifications. So I just want to put that out there for you. But yes, that you coined it well, Mike. That was it.
Sorry, one more. Do you mind?
No, no.
Do we have any representatives in the room who could help us in this regard? Lucy?
It's a communication that I have with, and Lucy would be able to help, but especially when it comes to the training thing, that's something I would have to deal with.
I'm sorry, one more. I was at the zone meeting with Natalie, so I can vouch that she was there. It was, for me, I believe I have attended a couple of zone meetings, at least one annual meeting. It was very eye-opening. It was very worthwhile for me as a professional, but also as a board member to attend these. And I can only imagine, I don't even have to imagine, it's clearly in the best interest of our board to send the people that are going to benefit from it. And that in this case is more than 3. I just think we need to try to figure out a way to send the people who want to go and who I know would benefit personally and professionally and it would be a benefit to this board in their function serving on this board.
So just so you all know, I can make a very strong recommendation as to why each of you should go, including the staff. They're different recommendations. These are the people that deal directly with the NCES records that come in applications. These are the people that work on the exams. You are the people who make the policy decisions. You're the people who have to look at some of this and see what we need to do related to this. I can make a very strong argument for all of them. And it's not about that, and it's not about the money. It's about what will be approved. So just want to put that out there.
Rick, I just wanted to ask, how long does it take for you to find out if the travel request has been approved? If we say proceed with, it sounds like we have 5/6 people, 3 are paid for, and you have to request this additional travel.
I can speak more from the out-of-state travel request.
Yeah.
More so than from the training request, because we rarely do that. And I'm not sure exactly where that goes. It's been a long time since we've done something like that. I can tell you that this meeting is scheduled for the end of April. Knowing all the requests, all the out-of-state travel requests that have to go through DCA, up to agency and to the governor's office, I know that we will probably get approval about a week before that meeting. Long after we need to make the reservations. Matter of fact, the last 2 times Betsy went to an ASBOG meeting, we had to pay more than what we were approved for because the hotel costs went up. The arrange for negotiate prices all went up. I didn't go to the last ASBOG meeting because I was approved along with Betsy, but the money I was approved for helped to pay for her overhead. And so that's generally what's happened. I'm not saying that they're slow in doing it. I'm saying they have a lot of out-of-state travel requests. It has to go through a lot of processes. So I would not expect it any sooner than about a week before the meeting. For training, I would suspect we'll get it sooner if it's a training request, because I don't think it needs to go to the same level. But the last time I did this, we weren't dealing with the statewide budget that we deal with today. It's a little bit different.
Okay, so I, I, my, I guess my proposal here, we want to send people, we want to send as many people as we want. I feel like there should be a balance between board members and staff because staff do the day-to-day work. Rosanna's been generous enough to step back from wanting to go to provide a staff member a position. So how about we send 2 board members and 2 staff, and that's what we request, so that you're not requesting 6 people and it doesn't get flat out denied. We just throw the 3 that are already paid for, and we throw 1 more under training for staff, and we have 2 and 2. So does that sound like something?
I think there's a lot of reasonableness to that. I will say that if we submit an out-of-state travel request for the 3 funded delegates, anything above that and anything in a separate request from training to go to the same meetings will be denied.
Okay.
I would place money on that bet. We'll be lucky to get the 3 funded delegates.
I'm not sure I understood that, but I'd like to make a motion.
What I'm recommending is if you choose more than 3, it's probably going to be denied.
The whole thing?
Anything more than 3 will be denied. Likely less than 3 will be approved. They'll probably approve a minimum of 1. It's just the nature of the political arena right now with budgets. That's the way it's been the last few years. It's about perception. It's not about what we have. So I can make all the justifications you want me to make, and there'll be a strong rationale for it, but that doesn't necessarily come into play.
So I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that the 3 funded delegates be Frank and Christina and Tiffany, and that we have 3 alternates in no particular order of Rosanna and Dallas and Natalie, and that we inquire with the finance department about getting funding for those 3 alternates as attendees to the meeting.
That was clear to me, but there's no second.
Do I have a second? Second? Desiree? I have a second.
Second.
Desiree?
Sorry, second.
Do we have any more discussion from the board or any questions? The motion. Are there any comments from the public present? Seeing none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment on the motion. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a moment now to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request, you wish to continue with the motion?
Yes, thank you. Selena, can you please take the vote?
President Martinez,
Yes.
Vice President Rufino,
Abstained.
Dr. Amistad,
Yes.
Dr. Asghari,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antonio,
Yes.
Ms. Haggard,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez,
Yes.
Mr. Villegas,
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck, Ms. Wong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Yep, Frank?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I want to make a quick comment, and Rick, I'm going to ask you to help me if the board agrees that I think NCWES, we should somehow agendize or have a discussion at that level that when they appoint a chair of a committee, a chair of their committee, they should consider funding that chair, because it will be unfair to that person that has to be approved by their board. So, for example, case in point, here, Christina, she is the chair of the election committee. It would have been not only a disgrace if the board said, no, we're not sending you, we're not going to approve you to go, when she has a bona fide assignment given by the president of NCWS. So I believe, I don't know whether there's been this discussion in the past. I don't know how you go about agendize, but I believe for the future, we should have a discussion at that level on funding or creating a vehicle that anyone that it's appointed at the statewide level, then they should bear the responsibility and not subject that individual to come back to their board for approval. So I'm not sure, how we're going to do this, but I just want to plant that seed, and I'm going to be looking at you and the board if the board feels that it's something that we should explore.
Okay, so I think that's a reasonable request. What I'll do is I'll reach out to NCWS how to make that, but what I suspect it'll be a floor motion at the annual meeting for the board to, I think, change the bylaws to fund this. It's a reasonable request. They've dealt with these things before. That's how the MBAs are funded separately. Used to be the MBAs were funded as part of the normal funded delegates, and some boards did not send an MBA because of that, paid or otherwise. And so that's a reasonable request. I can work with NCES staff to figure out the best way to do that, bring that to a future board meeting. And you guys can decide if you want to make a California motion first at the zone meeting. And then if the zone agrees, then it would become a Western zone motion. If a zone doesn't agree, then it could still be a California motion at the annual meeting. So I can keep you updated on that. In addition to that, there are standing committees at NCWS of which the president appoints. The president of NCWS appoints. Rosanna's on the bylaws committee. Aren't you on a committee on the national level?
I was.
Which committee?
On the Leadership Development Committee.
That's a zone meeting, isn't it? That's a zone committee. That's not a president appointment.
You're right.
Christina? Finance committee, that's a standing committee. That's a president appointment. I'm on UPLG committee. I have to remember what it was. There's several of us that serve on committees and many times. There's also people that work on exams. Ollie has worked on exams. That's not a governor appointed committee. Dallas works on exams. I work on exams, those different committees. And then there are zone committees, of which each zone vice president. The rationale and how they set up these appointments are supposed to take care of that. Doesn't mean that it's working. So in the case of a local leadership committee, I think there's 3 or 4 members on that, right, for the zone. Mm-hmm. The idea behind that is at least the zone VP can assure that at least one of those members will be at the zone meeting to report. I know that with the standing committees in the bylaws, typical situation is at least 2 members are from each zone on those standing committees. The idea is that at least when they have to report at the zone meetings, at least one member of that committee from each zone will likely be in attendance to report on that. So that's the idea behind it. But I think it's a reasonable request and something I could sure do.
I don't know if it's appropriate, Mr. President. I want to take much more time, but if it's something that we should agendize as a board to discuss and to see, because I don't want to be a singular
that's what
decision. As a board, I think we need to talk about it. And then if we agree to pursue, then I would, then I think we should go to the zone and present that to the zone and then plan on presenting it at the national.
That's what I was just saying. I'll talk to NCS staff. It's already on the next agenda based on you asking for it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And I'll find out information and bring it to you at the next meeting so you can decide what you want to do.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Good comments. All right. Next item.
Okay. Now, getting back to our regularly scheduled program about the Western Zone interim meeting. This is the meeting that we will have the zone officer elections. This is the year where we will be looking to elect a new zone vice president and a new zone assistant vice president. To my understanding, we only have one nomination so far for one of those positions. That's for zone vice president, Western Zone Vice President. I don't know. I just haven't received anything that there's another nomination for zone vice president or zone assistant vice president. Excuse me. Earlier, I think in December, Scott Sales, who's a board member from Arizona, he emailed all the active members and associate members of NCES and emeritus members saying he'd thrown his hat in the ring. Sorry, I'm just joking up about Mike. So I think you all received that. I think I forwarded it also to you just so in case you didn't receive it, but I think you all received that. So that's one person that's up for election. You don't have to make a decision at this time, but if you want to provide any guidance to the 3 funded delegates and 3 alternate delegates, you certainly can. Right now you have a choice of 1. I don't know who else is going to pop up, but I just wanted to put that out there in case you wanted to discuss it. We probably will have a chance to discuss this again in March at our next board meeting, in case there's anyone new. That'll be the last meeting before the zone meeting.
Christina?
Yes, so since I am on the nominating committee, and I just want to let board member knows that the nomination is still open, and we are looking for the vice president and the assistant vice president position, nomination for those 2 positions. And so the nomination will be closed on February 23rd. So we have a few weeks, but it's a process, because it has to be nominated, by the board. And so if you have any interest, submit nomination, please, before February 23rd.
Frank?
Probably be funded.
Frank?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. And I'm not advocating right now for anyone, but I just wanted to share with you guys the limited knowledge and reaction that I've had working with Scott. First of all, as you may recall, you may not recall, but last time around, California delegation voted for Scott when he ran for his current position. It was Christina and I, in fact, that we interviewed the candidates at the time. And even though we felt that all the candidates were viable, in the end, we decided to go with Scott. And so just background information for the new members. In addition to that, I've had the privilege to work with Scott this past couple years on the Zone Leadership Development Committee. And I have complimented him directly, and I have also complimented his boss, the division vice president, which I found Scott to be incredibly great leader. He has led with such a perfection to the committee and getting everything organized. So again, I'm not trying to sway. I think we're going to make the decision at the next board meeting, but I felt at least I want to give you a firsthand account of my interaction with Scott. And so far, unless someone else comes and blows our minds, so far, I believe Scott is the guy that I would support. And that's what I would advocate at the next meeting for us to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from the board?
Maybe you guys should nominate Frank for zone assistant vice president. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Frank.
Thank you, but I'm not that smart. I'm not an engineer.
No P, no nomination, apparently.
But I'm a public member. Proud public member.
Are there any comments from the public in the room? Seeing none. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
WebEx is open for public comment on agenda item 12. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few seconds to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request, you wish to continue?
Yes, thank you.
One more item before we move on, real quick. We don't have an outreach report in this board meeting materials, but I did want to follow up with Desiree. Staff is looking at LinkedIn and trying to figure out if they can come up with some meaningful stats to report on with that. I just want to let you know that we are on it, but we're not sure exactly how to report on that yet. Just wanted to follow up.
Thank you, appreciate it. I mean, I do have a suggestion, would just be the number of times BPLG is tagged in a post.
The number of times what, I'm sorry?
That BPLG has been tagged,
Okay,
say in a month. It's going to vary because most people are tagging when they get their PE and
right.
so.
Okay.
I just think it's good outreach.
Do I need to take public comment on this? It wasn't on the agenda, but you brought it up. Okay, all right. Do we have any comments from the public present in the room? Seeing none. Is there any comment? Sorry, moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
We are open for public comment on the recent discussion. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users dial *3 to raise your hand, and we will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a moment longer to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no request for public comment, do you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, thank you. Okay, item 12, President's Report / board member activities. I'll start. I have one item to report. I attended the quarterly DCA board leadership meeting on December 9th.
I attended the finance committee, actually it's a finance subcommittee meeting on December 12th to explore further revenue sources. So, yeah.
Yep, Mike.
So, Fresno State Geomatics Department puts on an annual conference every January. And Dallas and I spoke last year about the path to licensure, and other questions and comments arose during that meeting. We were invited back. So it's actually next Thursday and Friday. Dallas and I are speaking again on path to licensure at that conference. And then I also am speaking about monument preservation the following day. Chris, I just, this is not board member activities, but under new business, I would like for you to shut me down if this is not an appropriate. Well, this has to do with closed session. So again, shut me down. I'm going to be thoughtful about the license type, or I'll be more generic. The license types that we deal with in disciplinary actions have a predominant theme from time to time in the type of licenses. And it seems indicative of a problem.
Do you want to agendize the discussion?
Maybe. So talk to you offline about agendizing an item. Okay. For anyone listening who is wondering what I just want to be careful, and closed session is closed session, so I didn't want to, okay.
Thank you, Mike. Frank?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Real quick, couple of things. First of all, just like you, I attended the December 9, 2025 DCA board leadership meeting. Secondly, and for those who are interested, the Western Zone will have a virtual Zoom call on January 21st, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for those who are involved in examination, staff, I'm sure you're already aware, the guest speaker for that day is going to be the NCWS Chief Officer of Examination. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, Leron Deckel. Did I say Deckel? Lehman Deco. Thank you, Rick. So he will be the guest speaker, just in case there is any interest from any board member. It's on January 21st, virtual meeting, 2 p.m. And finally, I'm sure you all received the same email that probably I did on the State of the Council meeting and CWS State of the Council meeting. They're almost every month. So that you get, and I intend to participate or at least listen in to as many as I can.
So I received something in the mail for all of you, well, 11 of you, from NCWS yesterday. So I grabbed it before I left the office. I'll hand it out to you, but it's basically a magnet showing the dates for the State of the Council.
For the State of the Council meeting? Yeah. Perfect.
Did you guys get these? Well, you're not going to get one today then.
That's all I have.
Anyone who wants one, I'll hand it out.
Thank you.
Sure, pass them on.
Is there anyone else?
Don't give one to her.
Oh, you want a magnet? Okay. Any other comments, questions, or something to report from the board? Open up the floor for public comment. Is there anyone in the room that would like to make a comment? No. Moderator, can you please open WebEx for public comment?
We are open for public comment on agenda item 12. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users, dial *3 to raise your hand. We will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a few seconds to see if we have a request for public comment. Seeing no requests, you wish to continue with the agenda?
Yes, thank you. Moving on to item 13, approval of the meeting minutes for November 13th, 2025. Christina?
One small change. So page 62, number 3, public comments for items not on the agenda. There's a typo. So,
I see, it's Carl's last name.
yes.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out.
Yes.
Okay.
I move that we approve the minutes with the correction that Christina mentioned.
Okay, I have a motion from Mike, second from Phil. Is there any additional discussion from the board? Seeing none, the floor is not open for public comment. Is there anyone in the room that would like to make a comment? Seeing none. Moderator, please open WebEx for public comment.
WebEx is open for public comment on the motion. If you'd like to make a comment, please raise a hand by tapping that hand button at the bottom of the screen. Dial-in users, dial *3 to raise your hand. We will call on people in the order we have requests. We're going to take just a moment longer to see if we have a request for public comment.
To sabotage people.
Seeing no request, you wish to continue with the motion?
Yes, thank you. Selena, can you please call the vote?
President Martinez?
Yes.
Vice President Rufino?
Yes.
Dr. Amistad?
Yes.
Dr. Asghari?
Yes.
Ms. D'Antonio?
Yes.
Ms. Haggard?
Yes.
Mr. Hartley?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mr. Villegas?
Yes.
Mr. Waldeck?
Aye.
Ms. Wong?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Moving on to the last item, adjournment item. Meeting is adjourned at 3:08 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Good.